The opposition Singapore Democratic Alliance has released its manifesto for the election. It says it aims to build a Singapore for Singaporeans.
The SDA says it advocates a Singaporeans first policy for jobs. It also supports a minimum wage scheme, which the party says will help citizens cope with high costs of living.
Employment opportunities is an issue as well, with good PMET roles being given to non-locals instead of our own people being considered for these positions first, even if both candidates have the same qualifications and the same level of experience. SDA advocates a Singaporean first policy for employment, which shall be legislated. This means that an employer must prove that he cannot find a suitable local for the current vacancy and has exhausted all means of employing a local for the job before approval is granted for the employment of foreigners. On top of that, SDA is also aware of the dichotomy between a foreign talent and a foreign worker. While stringent measures are taken for the hiring of foreign talents to cut out the competition for our citizens' employment opportunities, there are certain roles that may only be filed and played by the foreign workers, as such roles may include restaurant staff, logistics staff, construction workers, manufacturing industries, etc. And we will repeal the current foreign workers quota policy so that SMEs and F&B businesses do not have a shortage of manpower, which in turn leads to lost sales and lousy service rendered. The SDA proposes the legislation of a minimum wage law. This is to help the citizens in coping with the country's high cost of living, which are constantly on the rise. By supporting the minimum wage law, citizens are assured of receiving income that are on par with current minimum real living wage. A minimum wage scheme will also boost the economy as well and eliminate the risk of discrimination of different job roles. By imposing the minimum wage scheme, citizens are free to pursue their passion as careers. This would ease the pressure of societal stereotyping of the white-collar employees being more superior than the blue-collar employees. Ladies and gentlemen, this will erase the thought that working with the brains is more powerful and more important than working with one's own hands. People with a minimum wage in place can then take pride of their work, and then whether they choose to be a technician or a cook or a retailer or a business person, they will start finding greater satisfaction in their jobs. This in turn boosts the productivity and economy gradually, and at the same time this will offer more choices to Singaporeans instead of being dependent on foreigners to take our job roles in certain industry. The income gap in Singaporeans would also thus be reduced significantly, and keeping at bay the risk of middle income earners suffering from the brunt of high cost of living. SDA proposes a minimum wage law.
And finally, it also wants to do away with the current streaming system in schools.
Ladies and gentlemen, please support Singapore for Singaporeans, Singaporeans First policy, Singapore Democratic Alliance. Thank you.